Welcome back to another week of progress on the Foundation. This week I had a couple of computer issues. Well, their replacements are in the mail right now, so should be fine, but it did cause me a little bit of a delay, so I didn't get quite as far as I wanted to, but I think I have enough to show you some interesting new things this week. So first of all, there was a little bit of cleanup on some of the events. There was some bugs that I discovered and that I had to fix and clean up and get working on. You'll also see over here from how ugly everything looks on the left that I'm doing some experimentation with icons and logos, and I'm trying to see what'll look good over there. I think I've got a fairly good idea of what I'm going to do there, but I don't have everything ready yet, so it looks like a mess. Also is this panel up here on the top. It's a notifications panel, and it will give you notifications and pop-ups when new things happen. So let's have something happen here, and I'll show you what it looks like. Alright, so some sort of event, some sort of anomaly has occurred. Previously, on the last week, you saw that as soon as that happened, I rotated the Earth over to the event. Well, oh look, we had another anomaly pop up right there while we were just talking. So I decided that that wasn't a very good idea. In fact, I knew that last week, but I just wanted to show that motion because I don't want you to be in the middle of doing something on the map and suddenly it yanks the control away from you. So normally you'll shift around and look at the ones that you want to, but on the notification tab, if you click the notification, it will take you to the site of the notification. Now I'll just show you can make it drop down, and there will be a list of multiple anomalies there that you can go see. But if I click on the bottom one here, it will take me here, and you'll see that it has moved down and automatically. And I can click that to move over to this one over here in Hawaii. If I click on here, you'll see that I added a scroll bar to a story box and rearranged the items. It needed to flow in a kind of readable order, so still draggable, all that, still same sort of things, but now it's in a more sensible arrangement. I think for most people in their languages is the rough reading order and makes more sense. So scroll bar for the story section. You also notice here that it's not the flat blank response teams mobilized now. Now the response teams are actually attempting to respond to the event. I thought this fit, apparently it got cut off. But you can see in this case the response teams were thrown out of the area. They weren't able to secure it. They left it for you to decide on a different course of action, which is partially because our funding is so poor for the teams at the moment. If we go back to this other one, we see that they were also thrown out on this case. Response teams can be thrown out. If they do poorly enough, they can suffer casualties, and you'll have to buy more or spend money on more response teams in order to fill up the losses. So let's go over here to regions, and let's pump some money into our teams here. Eventually I'll have some sort of a slider, some better UI for doing this so you don't have to click 80 million times. Anyway, 96% chance, that's pretty good for now. Now we'll continue on and find some more events. Alright, here we had another event appear in Canada, and if we click here we see that because we had a 96% chance at that point, the response teams have secured the area for us. Now again, it's not changing these events yet. I haven't hooked it into that. That'll come later once we get more of the policies and sites and things done. Then we'll get that populating. But the data is there. It knows what occurred, and so I can pass that on to the relative code needed for the policies and sites list later on. But you can see that now that we've increased our percentage, the response teams were able to secure this event for us. There's also one other type of notification I have here. And we happen to get one here. You can see the text is scrolling as a marquee. And these will be for flavor events Just random things that can happen that aren't important gameplay-wise, but just serve to add some fun and details to the world. This button, await further incidents, it's going to be disappearing soon. I'm probably going to add some sort of time manipulation controls down at the bottom so you can vary how fast time is passing. And those buttons will take the place of this await further incidents now that I've been scrambling some of the elements around. There's one other thing I want to show you, and that is I've popped up a mock-up here for the Ethics Committee screen. You can see down here it has some similar aspects to the O5 Council, in that you're able to assign members to the committee. I don't know if all of these options will be there in the end, because I want the Ethics Committee to be something that you aren't able to manipulate as completely as other parts of the game. So not all of these will be present, but some of them will be present so that you can try and shift the opinions and views of the Ethics Committee if you deem you want them to have an idea, if you want them to have morals closer to one side or the other. There's also the button here for disbanding the committee. If you're just fed up and done with dealing with the ethics committee, you can completely get rid of it and throw them out. However, this does mean that your staff can then basically run amok, and that can cause its own set of problems. The committee will also make various recommendations based on things that have occurred. They will automatically monitor a lot of the activities that a lot of the tests you perform and the activities that your various MTF teams and things take part in. And if they see things they don't like, they will make various suggestions. None of these things will be forced on you, however, implementing these recommendations will please the committee. Not following them will displease the committee. And if the committee is more on your side, they will make things run smoother from a bureaucratic and organization perspective, and if they're displeased with you, they'll make things a little bit rougher. However, in the interest of making it so that people, if they don't want to participate in the ethics committee, there'll be options to make the ethics committee not as big of a part of the game, so it's more silent in the background. There'll be settings to tune how much the committee cares and how much power the committee has to fight against you. But it'll be an interesting part of the game as it develops. Feel free to hammer me with your feedback, throw whatever thoughts you have about the Ethics Committee at me so that I can make sure to get this as good and solid as I can. Up here at the top that I forgot to mention though, is that the Ethics Committee will have about 3 cases going at any given time. When you click on them, it'll bring up the case details and what occurred. And these will generate, as you send MTF teams out to deal with situations, or as you allow certain research projects to take place, they will review the case and they will come up with some sort of conclusion on the case. As you can see here, the bottom line of each one is a conclusion that they have come to. If you just let the Ethics Committee do their job, eventually as new cases pop up, old cases will be dismissed with that having been what they decided to do. So sometimes they will dismiss charges, sometimes they will take some sort of disciplinary action, and again there will be an ability to configure how much power the committee has, whether they have the ability to terminate or fire your own employees, or whether all they can do is maybe lower the pay of each individual employee. There'll be lots of ways to customize various aspects in the game to how important they are. Because I know some people will be more interested in one part of the game or another, or some people's headcanons might include the ethics committee, maybe someone's headcanon doesn't. So there will be ways to alter things to try and make the foundation fit your view of what it's supposed to be like. And so you can come in here and see these cases, see what the ethics committee thinks should be done, and you can click on them and make your own decision, whether you think it should be harsher, whether you should think it should be dismissed completely and ignored. You can make your own decision. Going against the ethics committee's decision, though, might hurt the ethics committee's view of you in general. So that's that board and some of my thoughts on it. Throw the feedback at me. Throw the feedback on notifications, on the events. Next week is going to be finishing up what I wanted to get done this week, but I got delayed with some computer trouble, and that is the resolution of events. What happens when you click take action, basically. And once we get that bit done, then all the event foundational bits will be in place, and I will move on to groups of interest and possibly policies as well. Those are the two major next sections I need to address, and I know everyone's dying to see what the groups of interest will act like and behave like, so I'm excited to work on that as well. So that's some of my plans for next week, and I hope you enjoyed. I'll see you next time.